staff coming in like that?
Yeah, I mean, when we first came here, I mean, you knew pretty quickly that there's a lot of talented people, you know, and kind of at every position in terms of our side of the football. I mean, every position there was, I mean, truly some elite guys, you know, we felt like. And, you know, we just felt like if we could put this thing together and have the nice mixture of what we're trying to accomplish here and some confidence early in the season, you know, then look out. It's kind of what we thought. But I mean, early on in spring, you could tell that, hey man, this could be special. You know, it really did. Now, did you know you're going to be here? I don't know if I'd say that, but yeah, I mean, you really felt very optimistic about what you had there early on in spring.
So when spring started, you don't have any idea. I mean, you got an idea that they're talented.
Yeah, you got an idea that they're talented. You feel like you've got, you know, we had and have a lot of players that have played a lot of football together, you know, and that's kind of a unique position to be in, especially when you transition like we did and the transition that they went through. You know, so when you had that piece, you felt good going into the season, and then it's all right, now you got to be in the fire together with them. And so, you know, once we got through about the fourth or fifth game and got to the Oklahoma State game where we won in double overtime, I think that was probably a big moment in our season of finding a way to win that game and kind of propel us, you know, to the rest of the season.
Quentin Johnston and Garrett Riley coming from Temple High School, both of them, just how special are those guys in this year?
They've been critical. Yeah, I mean, we all know about Quentin and what he brings to the table for us offensively and just the leader he is. You know, and then Jared Wiley has ended up being one of our best football players, you know, in our whole team, and a crucial guy for us offensively, and been very proud of him and his production and the way he's approached the game. He's been a big part of our success and will continue to be. But yeah, those two guys are some of our best players for sure.
A lot of number one receivers like Quentin are kind of high maintenance a lot of times, but he seems remarkably low maintenance. Really, what makes him? I'm sure you appreciate that from a star like that. What makes him good? What makes him the way he is personality-wise?
Yeah, he is. He's kind of unique that way, right? From a receiver that you usually encounter. No, he's just very driven. You know, I think comes from Temple, Texas, like she was saying, and I think how he was raised and all those things. He's just he's mature. You know, I mean, he's mature. He's driven. He understands that he's got to work. He's not just going to rely on his God-given talent. You know, I mean, he understands that. If he wants to truly be great and get to where he feels like he can get to, he understands that. And I think that's hard for a young person, you know, to realize that early. And so, yeah, he's been incredible for us and how he approaches the game for sure.
It's my understanding he was one of the first guys, especially one of the stars that kind of bought in early to the new staff and everything. How important was that? You know, when trying to keep, you talked about these guys have played a lot of football together. For a guy like, if Quentin buys in, I'm sure other guys kind of follow. Yeah,
no doubt. I mean, yeah, you look here today, I mean, there's 5 of our best players on our team are here, and they're 5 of our best kids, you know, and that's what's so unique about our situation, you know, here at TCU right now is seriously, so a lot of our best players are really, really, really good kids. And so, yeah, to have a guy like him and Steve and, you know, Max, all these people buy in pretty early, I think was a huge factor for us early on.
How unusual is that for those of us outside?
I don't know if, you know, it's not like I've been coaching forever, but I've been coaching long enough that this is probably one of the first times that felt like we've been in that situation. To have this many, you know, I mean, we just have a lot of really good players that are just excellent kids. I mean, great students, great off the field, no issues, you know, all those things. That's, you know, it's very unique in college football.
You saw Max from the opposite sideline for a couple years and coached him obviously this year. What kind of improvements have you seen from him as a passer under your tutelage?
Well, I think the biggest thing is he's just gained confidence and moving on through reads and making quicker decisions. I think that's probably one of the first things I would say. And I think that's just a byproduct of him doing things over and over again. You know, not something I came in and mechanically fixed this guy or anything like that. I mean, that's all him. You know, I just think he's probably gained confidence that way. You know, and I think he's done a great job. I think coming into this year, you know, some of the deep balls and some of those things maybe weren't necessarily his strength in terms of completing those. He's always could throw it, but he's completing those at a pretty high rate this year, and I think that's become one of his strengths. So I think those are some, you know, maybe 2 of the things that have, you know, probably improved or the production's gone up that way.
Garrett, what does the skill set and mentality that has made Kendra so productive?
He's man, I mean, all of our assistant coaches, these position coaches, have done a great job with these guys. You know, I think Coach Jones has done an unbelievable job with that group. You know, we've been very productive there in that room really all year. But Kendra just doesn't say anything. You know, I mean, he's almost like Quentin a little bit. They don't say too much. They just kind of come to work, and no matter what you ask them to do, they do it. You know, I mean, if we ask him to pass protect and if he's got to block a DN or whatever it is, he'll do it. And so I think just willing people within our offense is kind of what we have here, and that's what's special about him being a great player.
You guys didn't, even in games that you guys were down double digits, never really got away from him in the second half. What is it about the belief in him, and how effective did he become in kind of closing out games for you guys?
For Kendra?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's one of those backs that kind of gets stronger as the game goes on. You know, I mean, he's a physical guy. He's 220 pounds or whatever he is now. You know, I mean, he is kind of one of those that gets better as the game goes on. And, you know, I think our offensive line's obviously a big part of that too. They tend to get a little bit stronger as the game goes on too. And so total credit to those guys right there, and strength and conditioning and the position coaches.
Here, I've talked to some of the players and coaches on that 85 team, the one where they had to suspend all the players. They had an NCAA probation. You said a lot of those guys that said they're sort of living through you guys to see you guys make this kind of jump to play for national title. I wonder for a kid like you in Texas, what that makes you feel like.
Oh, there's a lot of pride in that. You know, I mean, anytime you can, you know, kind of be the team that a lot of these legacies are watching and invested in, I think that's a special thing. So there's definitely a ton of pride when anyone says something like that to me.
How's the
Michigan on film, number 0 for them, Mike Sanderson. What does he do well? He's not the biggest guy on the field, but how important is he to their defense?
I think he's critical. You know, I mean, active, very active player, can tackle, can cover. I mean, anytime you got a guy like that, that's always going to be I think a key ingredient to your defense when you have someone like that. And I think he's certainly that for them. He's like one of those kind of catalyst players, I feel like.
from Muleshoe, Texas, to one win away from playing national championship? What's that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, surreal when you think of it that way. But yeah, a lot of pride, and Muleshoe certainly why I'm here today. There's no doubt about it.
Has there been a lot of support back home?
Yeah, I feel like there has been. Yeah, I feel like there has been. I think a lot of those people right now are getting in their cars and driving this way and making the road trip like everybody else. So I think it'll be fun for them all.
Max was talking about Michigan gets a lot of pressure